Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to United View and welcome to the first preview of the season. It was the Community Shield preview last week, and we dressed it up and said, oh, yeah, no. This is where it counts. Manchester United taking on Fulham for the curtain raiser at Old Trafford tomorrow night. And I tell you what, it doesn't matter about preparation now. It doesn't matter about preseason results now. Of course, signings and all of that jazz, everything. All the noise that's going on in the background, new contracts, outgoings, all of that stuff we're going to be talking about up until August the 30th, until the window shuts. But as soon as it's match day, it doesn't matter what's going on. It's about points / going through to the next round or trophies. But in this case, it's about points and making sure we put the shit behind us and start on the front foot, because if we don't start on the front foot, we know what's going to happen. So loads to talk about. Eric's been in the presser talking earlier about the players that are available. We know that Mazraoui and Ligt are available for selection and will be in the squad. Harry Maguire as well will be in the squad. And at the time of recording, we haven't seen the embargo part as yet. So hopefully, because Simon Peach did start off with, availability and all that stuff. Yeah. Hopefully there's no bullshit that happens in the embargoed bit that we just don't know about. But
do you like how he's properly on first name terms with these journalists now? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you notice
right,
that.
Simon.
Hi, Simon. Team news. Yeah. Well, like Melissa was saying a minute ago, actually, I kind of answered that question, Andy. He knows him very well, which I think is a good thing at this point.
And that backs up, actually, when you're on tour with these guys and you see how he is with the media. There's one thing when everyone's got to do their job, including him and the media. But those little exchanges of there's no cameras, it's just he's walking into the room or he is very friendly. I will say that. He is always saying hello to everyone and people have a little laugh and this, that, and the other. So yeah, that is good to see.
Yeah, it is good to see. It's funny actually you did that kind of sort of speech there at the start, kind of a rallying cry. Because I feel like everyone's done their own version of that over the last sort of 24 hours or in the build up to this game, because it is kind of a right, last season was shit.
That's it.
But that's last season. It wasn't the most conventional pre-seasons for anyone, but also, for us, because Copa America players, Euros players, is what Ten Hag said. He's only had the players for 10 days. As is always the case as well, you never have your full completed squad when the season starts, because there's always work to do, isn't there? There's always work to do. And in terms of exits and incomings, we've just got 2 more players through the door. They're going to be available. I still think the fact that, obviously, I know it's almost 3 players available because Yora's injured, but 4 signings for the start of the season, we'd have taken that any day. And my goodness me, the timing of Ligt and Mazraoui was so crucial, because without those 2 going into this game tomorrow, we'd be very, very nervous.
And not even just this game, like the first however many weeks.
Exactly.
Of the season,
They'll go, and I know he said they're going to be in the squad. I don't see any way they can't start, both of them. I'd be stunned if they didn't flex. How could they not start?
I think one starts.
Who?
I think Ligt will start. I think he'll keep. I think he'll keep.
I think he'll
keep Ligt at left back. I think he'll keep him at left back and put Ligt and Maguire.
But I know Maguire's said in the squad, but I think the back 4. I think Dalot goes to left back. I think Mazraoui's at right back. I think the back 2 is Martinez and Ligt. I think.
But who does leave on the bench to help out if
Maguire?
How fit is Mazraoui? Like if we have
Maguire, Evans. Maybe he puts Facundo. Maybe puts Facundo at fullback again.
Doing that ever again.
Do you know what shocked me with that? This shocked me, by the way. Is that after the game, like sometimes you go on X the next day and you see tweets from the day before during the game that look stupid. Yeah. The amount of that were like, Palestri's doing well. This is before the goal. They're like, Palestri's doing well. And I thought to myself, but even before the goal, I didn't think he was doing great at fullback. They were clearly targeting him because he can't play at fullback. Like, what are we doing here, basically?
In the stadium, it looked like he was just doing the best he could, considering.
Exactly.
Like, it wasn't awful, but they definitely were targeting. But he got a couple of tackles, knocked it out for a couple of throw-ins. I didn't he can. No, they went past them, and then Ligt came across, and then he sorted it out.
But to answer
yeah.
your question, I think they would start with that back four that I mentioned, and then if they did have to change things, I think that's when you shift Leacher out to left back, Dallo goes to right back.
So you're saying
bring on
start so Evans and
Evans.
Maguire on the bench. Yeah,
Yes.
okay. And then as the game goes on, because Mazraoui might get tired,
Yeah.
you then go, I tell you what, Dallo, you probably got to go out there, or no, sorry, not Dallo, Leacher, step out. And okay, maybe that, because I was thinking, I just weren't sure how ready they would be, especially Mazraoui. But okay, fair. Yeah, fair. I think it's fairly self-explanatory in midfield. I think it's safe to say that that'll be Casemiro, Kobe, and Mount. I think Bruno will carry on in the false nine.
Do you think so? Yeah,
well, I don't...
well, we did the full view this evening, and there was a lot of different opinions on this.
What does everyone think?
There was the school of thought that Kenny had when he was saying that because there is a bit of a conundrum how to get Garnacho, who should start, into the team, Ahmad, who should start because he had a really good preseason, but also you almost, even though Rashford missed the chances, there is this desire to get him off on the right foot if he's going to have a good season. So there's a case of, does Rashford start up front? And that's how you get Garnacho and Ahmad into the team and Bruno in the 10. Or are you saying he's not even going to go to 4-2-3-1? He's still doing 4-2-4. That kind of,
Well, it might even still be the 4-2-3-1. It won't be as defensive against City like the 4 with the 2 instead, like a 4-4-2 off the ball.
So you think Mount is the 10, Bruno is
I think, which is almost essentially, I know when we didn't have the ball, Mount's joining on as the 2 up front, to help him, but he's essentially a 10.
I think against Fulham though.
I get, but that's what I'm saying. It's not really that defensive. I just think just play Bruno as actually a false 9 and leave him up there. And Mount is just let's not overcomplicate. I just think 4-2-3-1, but with the available players that we've got. I just personally think he hates Rashford up front, and he ain't trying to tamper with that. And he knows that Marcus Rashford is that's just where he plays, mate. He's just not that adaptable. Let's be honest. We've tried to put him on the right, didn't work. Up front, he ain't great. I just think he wants him to get off the flyer. I think he'll keep Ahmad on the right. I think he'll have Garnacho. Yeah, I think he'll keep Ahmad on the right. I think Garnacho will come off the bench, and you'll go with Mount.
That is divisive if that's the case. I don't know how you can't.
I think he should.
How can you not start Garnacho?
I'll start him on the left. I'll start him on the left instead of Rashford, but he's not going to do that. But he's not going to do that.
I would love for him to do it just to start kind of send a message. Whether or not he does do it.
You know what?
I don't know. It's new season. Anything's possible.
I was just about to say this. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna be honest. I think Garnacho's fine where he is. What we want, right, as fans, the Rashford thing I get, because we're perceiving that Rashford's going to carry on with his stupidness, like missing and not doing what he's supposed to do. We're like, Garnacho's there, he's ready. But the best version of Rashford, right, like when he's on it, is still very good. He's still a very good player. And it's a new season. This is the first Premier League game of the season. And Rashford has looked sharp. He's just not had the end product. So I think Eric will give him a chance, as it is, of what's the continuity from pre-season, which is Ahmad. It's going to have to be Bruno because he ain't going to put Xerxes or Sancho there. Mason Mount's been playing in the 10 pretty much all pre-season. And Casemiro in with Kobe. That makes sense. And then I just think you start with that. You go with that. And I don't mind. I'm not fixated on Garnacho must start, get back to starting all the games. And I like the way Ahmad plays. I like the temperament he gives. I like the calmness he gives. And actually, when people are knackered and you want to open teams up, Garnacho's perfect for that. This is what he should have been last year. And I'm not trying to downplay what he's done because he's been way better than Rashford. And on merit, in terms of what you've done in the last year versus what Garnacho's done in the last year, we've got every right to say, nah, Rashford, sit on the bench. But I'm only saying this because Eric's not going to do that. He wants to give Rashford the chance to go. But on the right-hand side, I'm keeping Ahmad where he is, man.
I don't mind Garnacho starting on the bench as long as when the time comes, Eric has the balls to be like,
Agreed.
Like Rashford, you've got to start scoring eventually. Garnacho's going to start. My problem is I think that point's already very, very close. In all honesty, I mean, it would be one thing if that game last weekend was a one-off for Rashford. But the fact that we literally have seen 2 games back-to-back, granted they're in pre-season, 2 games back-to-back, the Liverpool game and the City game, where out of it, both of you go, Rashford should have had at least 2 in both games. What?
But then is that not a case of he looks sharp, he's getting in the positions, he needs a goal. Like you actually need him on the pitch so you can
Yeah,
get
but
one,
then
get confident, and when we can get the market. Are we
then
gonna
if you
get the
flip
Marcus
it, but if
Rashford
you
we want by taking him out at this point when in pre-season he's just been wider them out? Because is it not about fitness? Is it not about your sharpness, a
well,
clean
but
slate?
then as you mentioned, is it not about points as well? And you got to score goals. You know, we this is the key, I think, critical thing to come out of this game. And this isn't always to play down the whole lack of style and game model, blah blah blah. But ultimately, what matters the most tomorrow is just got to get off with a win. You know, because we're not ready. Ten Hag mentions
No.
in the press conference, we're not totally ready yet. We're not going to see, you know, completely gelled together Manchester
No.
United, best player in football. I do think we'll play better because we have played better in pre-season. As much people don't want to say we have. We have played a lot better in
Yeah.
pre-season, and we did play well against Manchester City last weekend. But we're not going to be perfect, and
No.
you just need the points. And also as well, look, make no mistake here, Fulham are a good team. They played us
Yeah.
off a park at Old Trafford last season, and
I'm gonna say that ain't happening again. I will go out on a limb. I will say we won't smash them, but we ain't tripping up. We ain't losing or drawing. We're gonna win the game.
But
100%.
we played, and this was something Kenny brought up in the full view, and it's absolutely true. Is obviously last season they played us off a park, but even the season before that at Old Trafford,
It was
they've come to
tight.
Old Trafford a few times, and again they've been tight games. So I think it is going to be a bit edgy, a bit nervy.
But they ain't got Pagliuca anymore. They ain't
No,
got their
that
two
is
centre
true,
halves anymore.
and we
Like
do have
they're missing a
options,
lot. Yeah,
and we
exactly.
do have
Their
options.
whole
You know,
spine's
even
been ripped out.
if you mention, you know, if say Garnacho just start on the bench, you can bring him on. If it's not
Yeah.
him, you can bring on Joshua Zirkzee. You've got obviously other players you can bring on too. So, you know, I still think United win.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's the banana skin game, isn't it? It's really what it is. The whole world's watching. We've been starved
Just
of Premier
win.
League football for months. Everyone's watching that first game. It's the Arsenal spot. They used to put Arsenal in on time because they thought they'll probably lose. It'd be Arsenal playing away somewhere difficult most of the time, whether it was like Brentford, whether it was
Brentford
Crystal
and Palace last
Palace,
year, yeah.
you know, that kind of thing. So with us, ironically enough, it's put United at Old Trafford. See what happens. Because
100%. If they draw, we're gonna feast. If they
Yeah.
lose, oh my god, we've dining all year.
Yeah.
And that's just it. We just need to do our jobs and make sure that there are no mishaps. At the end of the day, of course, we're looking for comfortability and performance, and hopefully it's the fairy tale. Oh, wow, look at Ligt, clean sheet. He was solid.
Yeah.
Oh, Mazraoui was up and down. Look at the assist he got. Oh, that's brilliant. Xerxes off the bench. What a goal. Yeah, we want to write those stories, but we're not naive. We know those stories probably won't happen. It's going to be about the players we know all about, actually. And obviously, Mazraoui / Ligt / both. Hopefully they do start and they play their part and give us the balance that we've been needing. And actually, we have to also be patient with them as well. They've only just come in, not much training sessions with the
Although,
team.
thinking about
But
it, yeah. Maybe this is the method to the madness with Eric. It's not as if like those you mentioned Ligt and Mazraoui and the
they
people he's
know him.
playing alongside. It's not as if they don't know each other. They never played together before. So I know it's different shirt, different atmosphere, different competition.
Yeah.
But you've got
But the
Andre
other players,
Onana.
though, but
You've
at
got
the back,
Andre
you can't.
Onana passing the ball to either Ligt or Bleacher, who he's played with United, played with at Ajax, and there's Mazraoui at right back. Realistically,
Yeah.
as them like knitting together as a unit, that shouldn't
Yeah.
be too much
Well, it's weird
openly
because
as a
some of them,
problem.
like Martinez, didn't play with Ligt,
No,
and Dallo and blah, 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 and Onana didn't play with
he would have played with
Ligt
De Ligt
either.
and Mazraoui. Yeah, he
Did he
would.
play with Ligt?
Yeah, because of
Play with
course
Ligt
he was
Mazraoui
because he played in
and Leach. Oh no, he's played with all of
yeah
them. He's played with all of them.
he
Yeah.
played in that semi final against Spurs, didn't he?
Onana did. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
the keeper then. And
so he would have
Sanchez
played.
ahead of him, we think.
So he
Yeah,
would have
yeah,
played
yeah.
with De Ligt and Mazraoui during that
Mazraoui
team.
would. So don't. Yeah. So it's only De
That
Ligt who
means
really
there's
didn't
not.
play with Leacher. So, but they understand what the manager wants them to do.
Yes.
But actually, in a weird way, they might be off doing their own thing while the others are like, okay, oh,
What you saying? They're going to be doing a high line, and Casemiro's going to be like, they're right
yeah.
there.
Something like that. Something like that. But yeah, I just think it's just important that, like we said, just deal with it. Just
Yes.
get the W, and go from there. I don't think we have to play all of our trump cards in one. I'm not fixated on that, how to fit everybody in. There's nothing wrong with having a Garnacho on the bench or a Rashford, like you said. I don't care who it is. So say like that's what we want. We need options. And as the game wears on, when a team thinks they might have you or they're doing okay, on comes Marcus Rashford, on comes Garnacho, you know. In most cases, on comes Scott McTominay, who hopefully is a bit of an audition, Fulham up the bids. So yeah, all right, predictions.
2-0.
That's my prediction as well.
2-0.
I'm going with a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Front foot. I think the place will be buzzing. It's under the lights. First game of the season. Fans will be optimistic because they're galvanized by all the new changes. Hopefully, like what you say, both new signings start. But just even if one or just them being there will lift the place. Cobby back in. Bruno new tunnel. Bruno new contract. I just feel like it will just be lifted under the lights. And I'm saying this now. And hopefully this is what happens. I'm going Man United 2, Fulham 0.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? Just be like, even if there was an acceptance of our performance isn't totally there, but like as you mentioned, like new players in the team. Last season was shit. It's the first full season with Ineos at the helm of football in control. Coming out of the new tunnel with a captain that signed a new contract. There is a kind of with the new football leadership team in the stands as well.
Do you know what I mean? Omar Barada's done like
Omar
a great
Barada
piece
did that.
saying, this is my first game, you know.
Exactly. It'd be really good to just set off on the right foot, wouldn't it, when it comes to that? Not necessarily totally performance, just a result of just going, yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah.
Before we face a tough, and tricky trip to Brighton next week.
Yeah.
New manager, new ideas, new players. So again, it's not, and then it's Liverpool the next home game. So it's straight in. It is straight.
Marcel says we're going to win our first 5 or 6 games in a row. So
I ain't getting involved in that. I mean, I'm being optimistic and positive, but hey, let's just chill. Okay, there you have it. Smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Get your predicted starting lineups in. Do you think Ligt will start? Mazraoui, do you think both will start? Do you think Joshua Zirkzee will start? Will Eric Ten Hag, pull something out of the hat that we was not expecting? And what is your score prediction? It is match day tomorrow. What will we have tomorrow? You know what that means. We've got the morning show as usual. We've got a road trip for myself later on in the day, and Owen will be live a couple of hours before the game, and then KG will be in there as well. It will all be going off for the first game of the season. The curtain raiser for a long 24-25 season. The ups, the downs, the cookings, the banter, all of it. The pain, the glory, the joy. It's all coming. It's all coming. Let's try and do something special this season. Here we go, guys. There we land, should I say?
Yes. I tried that this morning. I said we need a catchphrase here on the channel. We do need a catchphrase.
What are you saying? What have you got? Any?
I liked it's all going off. I think that's
all going off.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United. It's all going off.
Oh, I tell you what. Yeah, I tell you what.
Yeah.
Or just all going off.
Well, I like it that is because it's steeped in the history of the channel. You know what I mean? It's not forced.
Why did I do that again? Was it De Gea?
It was. Do you know what it was? Ironically enough, it was Fulham.
Fulham.
It was like the 3 red cards or whatever it was when it was like 2 players get sent off, and then obviously
Marco Silva got sent off
for loose ball boy got sent off, and you're going, it's all going off.
And then we came back. Bruno scored a penalty.
Exactly.
Lucho crossed it. Sabitzer, little flick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Let us know if you're feeling that. It's all going off.
Going off.
Take care, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for match day. Peace.